Hello and welcome to the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you live a happier, healthier, and stronger life. Building a life that you love starts with you owning your health and intentionally creating the best version of yourself. So if you're looking to better understand how proper nutrition, daily movement, mindset work, and strength training can help you create a life full of happiness and health, then you are in the right place. I generally hope that the tips, tricks, and information that we share will be the catalyst for change. I'm your host, Adam Lane. It's time to dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. I'm your host, Adam Lane. With me today, part two, Stacy Caler of the Wellness Refinery, talking mental health. Whew. If you didn't listen to the first episode, rewind, friends. Go listen to the first episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was good. Mental health is a thing.
Yes, it's a big thing.
Doesn't seem like it's going away.
It's not gonna.
So we can either deny it or we can steer into it and try to help.
We just got to help it.
So, Stacy, when we're talking treatment options for mental health, you work with many people trying to help them. Physical, yay. Mental, connected. What are treatment options?
So
that's not a big question.
No. There's so many.
So many.
But you have to find first and foremost what's right for you, right? The big thing is identifying what works for the individual. Just like, you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. Just like with, here. I know, right? Just like with anything in life, you've got to find what you click with, what works best for you. And a lot of times you might need some help with identifying that. Yeah. That's a different field from me. That's psychiatric care, physical or mental therapies, whatever it might be. But what you have to understand is the biggest thing is just identifying you might need something. Yeah. Whether it's a medication, a gym membership, supplementation, yeah. A different environment,
yeah. Sunshine,
in which to work. Yeah.
Yeah,
which we know we're not going to get much more of. Hopefully we'll have some.
Yeah.
But all these things can be, you as the person who is living with the stuff, needs to just know that, first of all, it isn't a weakness. It isn't. Yep. It isn't it isn't a problem. It's a moment. We've got to just work on it. And then hopefully as you continue to work on it, the moments become less. Yep. And then you feel more yourself, whatever that may be for your best self. So we have different layers of this special that we're doing. We're going to do, first and foremost, treatment options. What we're going to talk about real quickly is about some of the medications. Okay. Now, please, everybody understand, I am not a psychiatric NP. I am a functional provider with as a primary as well as a functional specialist. But what I do does come into pretty much constant contact of some form of mental health component. So whether it be, obesity, whether it deals with hormone imbalance, whether it deals with just depression, anxieties brought about by whatever. A lot of times my patients will come to me and they will already have a program set up by a very good therapist or psychiatric NP or psychiatrist or whatever it may be, psychologist. And what we're doing is trying to fill in the gaps. Yep. Okay. But let's first understand some of the medications. Now, I'm going to just look at my paperwork because some of these medications are pretty intense and I don't want to mess up anything. So what we're going to talk about is some of the medications that are available. Now, I will tell you too, there are new meds all the time. It's pretty awesome that they're trying to come up with better meds with less side effects or more impactful or less time for improvement or maybe easier ways to titrate off. So there's always more meds, but I'm going to just talk about those that are out there now. First of all, you want to understand that mental health medications can help to rebalance the brain. Okay, let's just put that out there. When we need medications, something is askew, right? There's things that are off, like our serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, GABA. These wonderful, amazing neurotransmitters, they provide us our mood, our balance. I love that word, balance, sleep, focus, just stability. Yep. So when we don't have this balance, or we can't find that balance, that's when things can be a little bit, well, okay, imbalance, whatever.
Yep.
So one that we hear a lot of are the SSRIs, SNRIs, and or Buprine. What these do are going to affect the mood. They're going to provide you a boost, a lift. Okay. They also can ease some anxieties. They also can sometimes improve some levels of motivation. Now, I say all this and we're talking about medications. On our next podcast, we're going to talk about things that you can do in a more natural concept. So I'm just laying out the groundwork that there are pharmaceuticals out there. Now,
because we could say there are side effects at times too.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And we will also address that as well. So the effects, better mood, calmer mind, some of the side effects, just some of the bigger ones that were really, really kind of highlighted, is more of a flat affect. I'm just kind of like more, not so much as a zombie state, but you're just kind of blank. You see that. You can see that a lot. Also, you can also get, some people can have intermittent issues with weight gain, some food issues, these kind of things. There's other things that you can do to help some of these side effects, and we'll talk about that as well. So anti-anxiety medications, the benzos, Busprin, hydroxyzine, what are they doing? They are going to obviously calm. We're talking about anxiety. So they're going to kind of calm the nervous system, put you in a better control, help you get that peace. If you're having an anxiety attack, if you're amping up, that's where, if you're not doing it naturally or through exercise and other things, this is where, or if you've tried that and it hasn't worked, then this is where these medications come in and be really apparent, reducing physical amping. The other things that the effects, relaxation, obviously, it does slow your thoughts down a little bit, hence decreasing anxiety, because what's happening during anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Everything is firing. Now, some anxiety is good. You should have some anxieties at certain times in your life.
Yes.
Always.
That's why we're wired up to be a little anxious at times. Yes,
that's it.
Absolutely.
So you have to understand that. Some of the effects, if anybody's ever been on these, I'm sure they can attest to. There's probably some more, but the bigger ones are like the drowsiness it's because it's calming you down. So you might feel a little bit more of the fatigue. There is a component of dependency with not monitored by your provider. You've got to be careful, because that can be a thing. So just be cautious, be alert, be your best proponent in your own health. Yep. Don't fall into that trap. Then there's mood stabilizers like lithium, valproate, these types of things. What do they do? Okay, well, the name is what they do. They're mood stabilizers. So they're going to help with the anger. They're going to help with what's the big manias, the whole, I'm going. I can't really control that type of thing. Also can help with just the onset or chronic irritability. So can hormones, just so you know. So there's that. The side effects, obviously, the good side effects would be mood stability. I mean, who doesn't want that? But there can be some negative side effects. You can have increased thirst when not monitored, making sure that your hydration is keyed up. That should be across the board with medications. You should always be having really good electrolyte levels, making sure that you're well hydrated. Don't be, slamming sodas and some of those other drinks, but and God forbid not the what are the energy drinks? Things, oh my Lord, have mercy. But water and some of your high powered or light electrolyte replacement. Tremors. And then also there are some weight concerns with this as well. Now, high or low, it just depends on the patient and the way they respond to the medication. So the other ones that are out there are the antipsychotics. That kind of is such a harsh word, but it's an antipsychotic, and you're looking at some of the risperidone and some of the other ones. The biggest things is where these come into play are going to quiet those thoughts. those thoughts, people, not like just happy thoughts, but those negative thoughts, those thoughts that may be a little bit more destructive for the human. So they can quiet those. They also can help with the agitation component. And if you are not sleeping, and let's say you have horrible bouts or you suffer from chronic insomnia, which can be really, that is not a good diagnosis. That is not good. I mean, insomnia can be detrimental to your life because of what the fallout is on the body. So this is a big deal. So you got to be careful with that. Some of the things that can occur, obviously the excess weight, some of the sleepiness can be overwhelmingly through the day. So it does not metabolize out of the system as fast, or maybe you're not metabolizing it out as fast. You may have residual fatigue or sleepiness, grogginess through the day. The other one that is kind of a big one for this is it does sometimes, I guess would be dull the emotions. You might feel a little blank, like some of the other ones we talked about. You might just feel a little bit, numb.
Yeah.
Some people need that though, because maybe they react so strongly to emotions that this is actually a good thing for them. And then of course you've got the stimulants and the ADHD meds, Adderall, Ritalin, Vyvanse, some of these things. And those, we see, and I know we've talked about this, we see this more and more, early and late in age. They're using some of these medications quite a bit for different situations. And then there's people out there that are getting them and not getting good management, which if you're going to do medications in general, I don't care what it is, if you're doing a pharmaceutical, make sure you're following the directions appropriately or manage appropriately. Talk to your provider that prescribed the medication. Make sure that you are knowing what it's going to do to your body, because daggone, we don't want to, who walks blindlessly into a dark corner? Yeah. Who does that?
Get some direction.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Love it. So these medications, obviously what they're prescribed for is increased focus, that attention component, and drive, which you and I both know is really big right now. We're all wanting that. I want that. Yeah. I want increased attention. I want increased drive. I want all that. I do something different, but what if not everybody can do what I do? Yep. What if not everybody can do what you do? They may need these. And that is what we acknowledge, that we are not saying don't do this. We are certainly saying that there is a place for these medications, and we want to support the people that are on these for sure. So side effects, obviously the positives, alertness. Hello. Love that. Also, you're going to have better focus. You can have that. If you're not achieving it through other more natural means or through whatever physical fitness and such like that, then maybe you need a deeper dive into this. Yeah. Some of the negatives can be obviously increased anxiety. You can always get a paradoxical effect, which means the opposite. So you never really know. Some really struggle with appetite here, where they don't have one, and they can lose. And Adam can tell you, there's a big difference between losing body fat and losing muscle mass. Mm-hmm. And we both know that when you are not properly managed in any kind of weight management program or medications that may cause weight loss and such, what's the first thing they lose? Yeah. Muscle mass, right? And they don't even know it because they're not educated on, or maybe they're not working out the way they should be. So that's a big thing. The other one is there is apparently, again, I only have this secondhand from patients. I have not ever taken any of these, but the crash, apparently this can be pretty aggressive, a later in the day kind of crash. So you got to be careful with that. So the last one that I really kind of focused on, it's not a medication. It's really just understanding that if you're going to be on these medicines, okay, remember every medication does something. That something has more somethings that it can do. Yeah. So I don't care what it is that you're taking, understand the component, understand what the medication does to you and what the fallout is, or, the positive negatives of that medication, because there are meds that we take, everybody takes meds, and maybe it's for a moment. Now, like if maybe somebody has strep, or somebody has a viral, or not a virus, because we don't treat viruses with antibiotics, but let's say they have a bacterial infection, right? So they go on an antibiotic for 7 to 14 days. What does that do? Well, let's think about that, right? I mean,
anti.
Thank you. Think about your gut immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're on these medications, understand, first of all, you're on them for a reason. Work on yourself, right? Work on yourself. And this medication hopefully will help you work on yourself. But then work on the rest of you that this medication might be affecting. And again, we are in complete support of people who are dealing with this and are needing to take medications. But what our goal is to educate that, you know what else should I be doing to help intensify, to relieve, and recover? So that's our little bit on the medication component.
So overarching here, because we've had these conversations too. Myself, my family, we're not big medicine people.
No, you're not.
We don't not. If
me too.
My youngest is really good at ear infections.
Yes. Because
we struggle blowing all the nose sometimes, and then we'll sleep, and then it into the ear. And that's where antibiotic comes in handy, and stuff like that. People struggle with mental health things, and there are some options of things. Again, we're not doctors here. We're not prescribing. There's no medical advice going on here. But in the way of it, in your opinion, is it something where, hey, if somebody is struggling, they are going through a really tough season of life, hey, some of this, you find the right provider that is switched on, understands you and your situation, we can get you on a medicine for a period of time and eventually wean off type deal, like
some of them, yes.
Okay.
Some of them, you can do a lighter dose to begin with, and a lot of times that's what your goal is always to start, even
minimal effective dose.
I mean, because I don't do heavy prescriptions with this type of stuff, but I know, and I have I've been exposed to this in other practices. But the biggest thing is you have to have a goal. What's the goal? Not you, the provider, you, the patient. You got to go in with a focus, but you may not know that focus until you get medical help. Right. So if you go in and then you start to get more control and you can start thinking better and maybe processing and being your best self, then you can have that conversation with your provider who wrote for the script and say, look, I'm doing good. I want to entertain some ideas here with you. What are my options? What's happening? Or it may come down to a point where a lot of times, and this is part of the thing with medications, I don't know which one's going to work. Right. So you gotta go through that whole process, but we're always hoping for the best. So if we hope for the best, and let's say that you're on this medication for a season of life, which I love that. And maybe you may have had to go up on a higher dose, but things changed in your world. Maybe you started.
We change.
That's right.
We definitely change.
So maybe when you calmed your world down and things were better, you could process better. You started seeing that, man, I have got to stop eating cupcakes for breakfast. Or, man, I really feel good about going for a walk. Or, hey, I've got a workout partner now. We're working out 4 days a week. And man, it is awesome. I feel amazing. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Or maybe I'm taking supplementation that is helping me propel my health. So that's really when you start to go, you know what? How would I be? How would I be if my dose wasn't as high? Would I still be my best self? You've got to go through that with someone who is that provider, and you got to be ready to be committed, right? Because you don't want to just take a drug and be done. I mean, what's the point of that? I mean, maybe you do. I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I don't want to. I don't want that from my family and from my friends. I don't want that from my patients. I mean, and they say this, but I'm a de-prescriber. I prescribe. Yes, people, I prescribe pharmaceuticals, but it's always after we've had a conversation to the point of, is there something else we should be doing first? And if we do those things and things are not going the way we need them to go for health and for betterment of that person, mind, body, spirit, then we got to make a change. And that might be a pharmaceutical.
Yep.
And then we're always trying to get them up.
Yep.
Because that gives them a little bit of a push, right? They got a leeway.
Yes. Well, and Stacy, this is why I really respect everything that you do, because like, that's not the attitude that I think a lot of doctors have these days. It's like, hey, we got you on it. Fantastic. Here's a script. Here's a script. Here's a script. Not a doctor. I don't know. Not to paint with a broad brush type thing, but like, I think that's where the pharmaceutical industry gets a little crazy at times.
I don't think they have time though.
That's the issue. And you do put your time into your people.
I don't think they have time.
And that's massive. Yeah. Absolutely huge.
I think they are so regimented. They have to have so many visits in a day. And, gone are the days when you go in and you sit with a actual physician, a real, MD, and or your provider, your medical provider. And you got to, man, I had a bad week.
Yep. I
think that's affecting where I'm at today. But no, you go in, you talk to the nurse, you get your stuff going. And I understand that. I was there. And now that I'm out of that environment, I appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
Because I have been surrounded by some amazing physicians. Amazing. Yeah. My mentor is amazing. The time that he gives to his patients, awesome. And I have been exposed to different physicians all my life. And I have seen the change.
Yep.
I see the change, and it's not their fault.
No,
it is not their fault. It's money.
Yeah.
It's insurance. It's big business.
Yep.
And I'm not big business. Yep. I'm not insurance. And none of us in functional are that. It just, you can't be that and be functional because of that. But it's frustrating for mental health, especially because it takes a while for you to get in. Mm-hmm. You can do it online now, which is great if that's your thing. But that initial phone call is so important.
Yeah.
But anyways, these are the medications we see on a day-to-day basis, in our world, and how they can affect you. What do you do naturally?
Yeah. Well, and then again, I appreciate you wrapping that up right there, because I think that's going to dovetail nicely
into our next one,
into the next one, which, we talk about, hey, the pharmaceutical stuff. Hey, there all are non-pharmaceutical options to driving mental health. And as we go into the winter here, and the sun's going to disappear.
Yikes.
It's rough on lots of people.
Here comes the seasonal depression.
Okay. I don't want, at least this is my opinion, I don't want, I don't want my wife to be like running, I need drugs now because I haven't seen the sun. Like, hey, we have other options here.
There are.
Well, hold on, friends. That's the podcast. That's going to be part 3.
I love it.
Of this 4-part series.
Yes.
Stacy, thanks again.
Yes.
We'll catch you on the next one. That's all we have for you today. If you have any questions or want to chat or interested in seeing what we're up to in between episodes, head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow @OakStrength. Also check us out at oakstrength.com. If you like this episode, please share it with someone who wants to live happy, healthy, and strong. If you really liked it, subscribe and review the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Be sure to tune back in next week, and remember to keep owning your health.